Hi guys, welcome back. So I've been doing a lot of thinking about the Fishroom. Basically what's going on is, I don't know whether, I know a lot of viewers in the UK, but anyone who's not in the UK, the price of electric and gas has like rocketed up in the UK in the last year or two. And since the weather's started dropping in the Fishroom, since the temperature started dropping, I've been keeping an eye on my smart meter, and the electric bills got shot right through the roof. Completely different to last year. Like last year wasn't that bad. I estimated this room would cost me about £50 a month, which is fine. But within 20 days it cost me £120 this month, and it isn't, to be honest, it's quite unseasonably warm for October in the UK. The nights are getting cold, but the days are still like late summer, early autumn. It's not like October at all, and it's making me worry about what's going to happen when it gets really cold. And even that on its own, it's still not the end of the world if it was to be £200 a month to run the Fishroom. But at the same time, there's a lot of things I've been thinking about. Like, first of all, bill wise, if it was just the electric, that'd be fine, but every month the mortgage is creeping up now as the interest rates are going up, and every time I go shopping the food bill goes up. I buy similar like amounts of food, and it should equate to similar, but it's not. Like, you buy like the stuff I was buying for £1, like milk and stuff, a few months ago is now 155, 160, and I'm like, well, when's this gonna end? And apparently the gas and like he's gonna go back up again soon. So like, I'm starting to think to myself, what can I do? I could grin and bear it and pay for this room, but then I think, well, I'm really tight for space in here, as I've shown you. I was thinking of putting tanks here and starting breeding. That's 3 months of paying like £200 a month. And I think to myself, I could do with a bit more space. I could do with saving a bit of money up and building a bit bigger room now. So it makes. So basically, like, I was thinking of getting rid of a lot of the fish, to be honest. There isn't any easy decisions on that, because all the fish, like I've said on previous videos, the fish I really want. And I was thinking maybe move the front doors into a tank in the living room, and the only tank I'd buy for them was at least 6 foot, and I think it'd be overpowering in the living room. I was kind of thinking of getting a building and putting a big tank in for the front hose, and I was thinking, I haven't got the available funds for that, and I've been plowing money into the electricity to run this, then I'm not going to have the disposable income to save up for it. So I'm thinking of shutting some of the tanks down. I've got the Manicaparu in here and the L333s, and I've got the Dark Knight Rams in there. And what I'm thinking of doing is putting them in the tank in the living room, the planted Blackwater tank. Maybe selling that breeding pair, and maybe letting the front hoses go. Like that's my thoughts. And then obviously I've got the Angels. Now I'd have to do a lot of breeding to be able to kind of offset some of this, and it takes about 3 months to grow out. Now the Angels have done really well, they're quite big now, but I still think I'm about a month away from where a shop would take them off me. And I spoke to my fish store today, and my local fish store has been great, and has been like told me it really helped me out and stuff, which I've got a really good relationship with them. I've shopped there for 30 years, so and I've always, when I have my saltwater tanks, I'd take them buckets like this, just full of coral, and give them, I never even ask for a price for them. I just give them, and when I went in for fish food and stuff like that, he just let me take it without. So luckily I've got that, and like, I want to pass the, if I have to, I want to pass the breeding pair on to someone who'd like get the most out of them. yeah, so I was thinking of moving them in the living room, getting all the fish out the living room, sending them the shrimp. As the thing is, if I'm honest with you guys, I'm not really, like, I'm getting a kick out of breeding, but I'm not breeding the fish I want to yet. Obviously I've got all breeding projects that need to grow out. Now if I'm, you know, looking at growing them out over 2 years, be better in the house with the heating on and a little heater. The old 333s are out. I've never seen them out before. They're out, so that's cool. But what I'm thinking of doing in the meantime is I'm thinking of getting some more goldfish. I know people aren't really interested in goldfish, but like, I've spent so long researching goldfish, and if I'd done it and made videos for the channel, I got them ranching around it, and to be honest, considering they're supposed to be high grade fish, I assumed they were stunted, to be honest, because they haven't really grown. They've been outside, they've had loads of water, loads of food, and they haven't really grown anything, to be honest. Like, they're coloured up, so they should be a year old when I got them, so now it's the second year, and to be honest, by 3 years, Tansai, Sosai, Nisai, so I'm just thinking of the Japanese terms. Yeah, by the third year they should be adult size. You know, they should. A common goldfish should be like almost a foot long in the right conditions, and these are like 3-4 inches maybe. They might have grown an inch, which tells me they're stunted, to be honest. I feel like I've got the runs now, considering I paid for high-end fish. You know, what did I pay? I paid about 100. Paid about £500 for 8 goldfish. You know, that's a lot of money. Now, I don't know whether. So what I'm thinking of doing is getting some bargain basement, like kind of just pet shop goldfish, and maybe Sarasa comets. I don't know whether you've seen them, but they look like miniature koi. They're like red and white, or Bristol Shabunkin, something like that. Something that's, you know, but like, I'd like to make some videos on how I'd get them, and like the videos would be quite generic. You'd be able to apply to other fish like cichlids and stuff, like a lot of the stuff, like I've got a really in-depth knowledge of keeping these fish, so like the water quality, stuff like that, everything from like getting the fish, how I'd pick them at the shop, sexing them, quarantining them, DIY fish food, loads of DIY projects. I can do filtration, stuff like that, do loads of water change where I feed them, try some of that grow food on them while they're young, breeding, building ponds. Like, there's so much stuff I could do with them like that. I wouldn't necessarily have the confidence to do with other fish. So anyway, that's it for this week, guys. You know, let me know what you think in the comment section below. I know it's a bit of a bummer, but it's, you know, it's a short-term loss and a long-term gain. Like, I'd like to put a much bigger building here. I'd like to put a pond, like I said. I'd like a greenhouse in the back. Anyway, take care, guys.